In the journey of life, relationships become our greatest companions. The Stoics believed that while we must remain resilient and grounded within ourselves, genuine connections bring meaning to our existence. A deep relationship, however, isn't about dependency or blind attachment. Rather, it's about cultivating bonds rooted in trust, respect, and shared values. Imagine being fully present with someone where words become almost secondary, and there's a quiet understanding, a respect for each other's individuality, free from judgment or control. That's what Stoic relationships embody. To build deep relationships the Stoic way, we begin with acceptance. People around us are bound to make mistakes, to falter, and sometimes even hurt us unintentionally. The Stoics would remind us that we too are imperfect. By embracing this truth, we stop expecting others to be a flawless source of happiness. Accepting the humanity in others liberates us from resentment when things don't go as planned. Instead of placing unreasonable expectations, we learn to approach relationships with humility. We're all on a journey, stumbling, learning, and growing. This understanding fosters patience and allows us to love people as they are, rather than as we wish them to be. Building deep connections also requires us to listen. In today's world, so often we're listening with the intent to reply, rather than to understand. The Stoics practiced active listening, knowing that every person has unique perspectives and experiences that we can learn from. When we listen deeply, we're not just hearing words, we're respecting someone's presence. We allow them to express themselves without feeling the need to judge or interject. This creates an unspoken bond, a feeling of being seen and valued. Imagine the strength of a friendship or relationship where both people feel fully understood. That's the beauty of listening with patience and genuine curiosity. Another Stoic practice in building relationships is managing our own emotions. Too often, emotions cloud our judgment, leading us to act out of impulse. When we're angry or frustrated, it's easy to project those feelings onto others, damaging relationships in the process. But a Stoic pauses, reflects, and separates feelings from facts. By doing so, we avoid saying or doing things in the heat of the moment that we may later regret. In moments of conflict, it helps to step back, observe our emotions, and remind ourselves of the greater value of the relationship. This ability to maintain emotional clarity not only protects our bonds, but strengthens them as we approach each situation with kindness and self-awareness rather than raw emotion. Being reliable and trustworthy is also at the core of Stoic relationships. Words are easy to say, but actions define who we are. To the Stoics, integrity wasn't just a virtue, but a necessity. When we consistently show up for others, keeping our word, supporting them through tough times, and being a steady presence, they naturally begin to trust us more deeply. Stoics would say that a person's character is their most valuable asset. And when we demonstrate integrity, people feel safe opening up and being vulnerable around us. Trust is fragile. It takes time to build and seconds to shatter. By honoring our commitments and maintaining honesty, we lay a strong foundation for relationships that last. Letting go of control is another Stoic principle that deeply influences relationships. Often, we try to mold others to fit our ideals, wishing they'd change according to our desires. But this only leads to frustration and resentment. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what's within our control, our own actions and reactions, and to release our grip on everything else. People are free to be who they are, just as we are. This doesn't mean we accept behaviors that hurt us, but we don't impose our will on others. When we let go of control, we allow others the space to grow in their own way. This sense of freedom and respect becomes the fertile ground for a relationship where both individuals can flourish without feeling restricted. In Stoic relationships, we also practice gratitude. It's easy to take people for granted, especially those closest to us. But a Stoic is keenly aware of the fleeting nature of life. Today, we may have the chance to connect with a friend, a sibling, or a partner, but tomorrow is never guaranteed. By appreciating each moment spent together, by recognizing the value that others bring to our lives, we deepen our sense of connection. Gratitude makes us kinder and more forgiving, fostering relationships that are resilient. Every shared laugh, every conversation, every quiet moment becomes a treasure. This mindset helps us to cherish the presence of others, rather than being caught up in minor grievances or unmet expectations. Additionally, cultivating humility in our interactions is key. The Stoics believed that no one is superior or inferior. We are all equals, learning from each other. By approaching relationships with humility, we drop our egos and embrace the wisdom and insights of others. We become open to feedback, learning, and personal growth. When someone points out a flaw or offers a different perspective, instead of becoming defensive, we recognize it as an opportunity to grow. Humility in relationships allows us to see beyond ourselves and truly connect with others, not out of competition, but out of mutual respect and admiration. The Stoics also valued boundaries. Loving someone doesn't mean losing ourselves or sacrificing our own principles. Establishing healthy boundaries ensures that we respect both our needs and those of others. Boundaries aren't walls, they're lines of respect. They allow us to maintain our individuality while fostering a space for mutual growth. When we communicate our boundaries clearly and respectfully, we invite others to understand us better. It's about knowing our limits and being mindful of how much we can give without losing balance. By maintaining boundaries, we preserve the health of our relationships, ensuring that they remain supportive rather than draining. Stoic relationships are anchored in purpose. Stoics weren't about shallow or surface-level connections. They believed that relationships should be meaningful, adding to our character and encouraging us to live virtuous lives. A friend or partner is someone who inspires us to become a better version of ourselves. We choose to surround ourselves with those who align with our values, who support us in times of need, and who challenge us to grow. This doesn't mean we seek perfection in others, but rather recognize the impact they have on our journey. Meaningful relationships are the ones that lift us, that push us to rise above our limitations and become our best selves. Building deep relationships the Stoic way is a commitment to listen, to respect, to accept, and to grow together. It's about choosing love that's rooted in freedom, kindness that stems from strength, and connection that honors individuality. In practicing these principles, we don't just build relationships, we forge bonds that withstand time, challenge, and change, grounded in virtue and mutual respect. As we continue to build these bonds, it's essential to remember the Stoic view of impermanence. Relationships, like all aspects of life, are temporary. This isn't meant to make us feel detached or less invested, but rather to enrich the time we have with others. When we hold this perspective, we avoid taking people for granted, and we cherish each interaction as if it could be the last. This awareness naturally leads us to treat others with more kindness and compassion, savoring shared moments and conversations. Impermanence reminds us to be present, not allowing the weight of past grievances or future anxieties to cloud our interactions. We give the best of ourselves in the here and now, fully engaged, fully appreciative. Another aspect of Stoic relationships is finding joy in others' happiness. Envy and jealousy have no place in a deep Stoic bond. Instead, Stoics practice sympathia, the idea of connectedness with others and the universe as a whole. When a friend or loved one experiences joy or success, a Stoic takes genuine pleasure in it, as if it were their own. We celebrate each other's victories, understanding that the happiness of others doesn't diminish our own. It enriches it. This mindset transforms relationships into sources of mutual upliftment, where one person's happiness radiates, creating a shared experience of joy. Being resilient in the face of adversity is also crucial. Life will inevitably bring challenges and hardships, and so will relationships. Conflicts, misunderstandings, and rough patches are part of the journey. A Stoic doesn't abandon relationships at the first sign of trouble, but rather sees difficulties as opportunities to strengthen the bond. Through patience and open communication, we can address issues with grace and wisdom. This resilience builds trust, showing that we're willing to weather storms together. Instead of seeing problems as roadblocks, we view them as steps in a journey of growth. And by maintaining composure and patience, we set an example, encouraging others to respond with similar calmness and understanding. Forgiveness is another cornerstone of Stoic relationships. As humans, we all make mistakes, sometimes unintentionally hurting those we care about. Stoicism teaches us that clinging to resentment is like holding onto a burning coal. It only causes harm to ourselves. By forgiving, we free ourselves and others from the chains of past errors. Forgiveness doesn't mean ignoring harm or accepting harmful behavior, but it does mean allowing ourselves to move forward without the weight of bitterness. A Stoic forgives not just for the sake of others, but for inner peace. This willingness to let go of past wrongs allows relationships to heal and flourish, unburdened by the wounds of the past. In practicing Stoicism, we also cultivate empathy and compassion. Although Stoics are often seen as detached, in truth, they valued understanding others' experiences deeply. They recognize that every person carries unseen struggles, hidden fears, and quiet battles. In our relationships, showing empathy creates a safe space where people feel free to be vulnerable. Instead of dismissing someone's pain or challenges, we approach them with compassion, validating their feelings. This empathy allows us to connect on a deeper level, nurturing bonds where people feel safe, understood, and valued. When we understand the context of someone's actions or emotions, we become gentler, more patient, and ultimately more supportive friends and partners. Transparency and open communication are also key elements in a Stoic relationship. Stoics believed that honesty is essential for true connection. Speaking openly and honestly allows us to build trust and reduces misunderstandings. When we share our thoughts, fears, or concerns directly, we invite others to do the same. This transparency becomes a bridge, enabling authentic connection. It's through honest dialogue that we truly understand each other, moving beyond assumptions or misunderstandings. We learn to express our needs and concerns clearly, avoiding passive aggression or hidden resentment. Open communication, rooted in respect, is one of the greatest gifts we can give to those we care about, creating a space for growth, healing, and unity. Respecting solitude is another important aspect. Even within the closest relationships, Stoicism values the need for each individual to have space for self-reflection and growth. Deep bonds are not about constant togetherness or dependence. They're about the freedom to be ourselves, even in the company of others. By respecting each other's need for solitude, we honor our individuality and allow each person the time to cultivate their inner lives. When both people feel fulfilled within themselves, they bring a richer presence to the relationship. Stoic relationships, therefore, encourage independence, knowing that time alone strengthens the bond rather than weakening it. Stoic relationships are grounded in a sense of purpose. We approach every relationship with an intention to add value, to uplift, and to support. Instead of focusing on what we can take, we ask ourselves what we can give. This mindset shifts our focus from self-centered needs to shared growth and joy. The Stoics believed in contributing positively to the lives of others, enriching their journey and finding fulfillment in the act of giving. Through this lens, relationships become not just a source of personal happiness, but a space where we actively create meaning and virtue. In this way, Stoic relationships aren't fleeting or superficial. They're a continual practice, a journey of mutual respect, growth, and profound understanding. They are built on foundations of integrity, acceptance, patience, and love, nurtured through self-awareness and a commitment to the greater good of all involved. Expanding even further, let's delve into how the Stoic approach to relationships cultivates a unique kind of love, one that doesn't hinge on possession, but values genuine companionship. For the Stoics, love wasn't about controlling someone or becoming their everything. Instead, love was seen as an unwavering commitment to support, respect, and uplift the other person without losing oneself in the process. It's a love that accepts imperfections and allows each person to be fully who they are. Stoics understood that true love is freeing, not binding. It celebrates the strengths and embraces the weaknesses of the other. In such a relationship, both individuals feel at ease, knowing they can express their truest selves without fear of rejection or judgment. It's a love grounded in mutual growth, where each person thrives not by merging identities, but by bringing out the best in each other. The Stoic approach to empathy goes beyond simply understanding someone's feelings. It extends to seeing the world from their perspective. Stoics practiced a form of radical empathy that required them to step into the shoes of others, to imagine their experiences and challenges, and to respond with kindness. This isn't just a passive understanding, but an active effort to consider the inner world of those we care about. When we empathize in this way, our relationships become less about us and more about supporting and understanding the journey of the other. We feel the challenges they face and celebrate their joys as if they were our own, fostering a profound connection based on shared humanity. In building deep relationships, Stoics also emphasized practicing gratitude even in moments of conflict. It's easy to appreciate someone when things are going well, but the Stoic way is to recognize the value in even the challenging aspects of a relationship. When we face disagreements or misunderstandings, Stoics teach us to view these moments as opportunities for growth. We're grateful for the insight they bring, for the chance to learn more about ourselves and the other person. Instead of letting resentment take root, we focus on the positives, how these moments of friction ultimately contribute to a stronger, more resilient bond. This gratitude, even in times of difficulty, keeps us grounded and focused on the bigger picture of our shared journey. Another Stoic approach to relationships is the concept of intentional presence. When we're with others, we commit to being fully present, not distracted or preoccupied with our own thoughts, but truly attentive. This means setting aside distractions, worries, and the urge to control the conversation. Being fully present allows us to see and hear the other person with clarity, creating a space where they feel valued. Imagine the strength of a bond where both individuals bring undivided attention and presence to each interaction. Such presence fosters trust and creates an environment where both people feel heard and respected. Intentional presence is a rare but powerful gift, one that deepens connections and leaves a lasting impact. At the heart of Stoic relationships lies the art of reflection. After every interaction, the Stoics encouraged us to pause and reflect, not in a self-critical way, but to gain insight into our behavior, responses, and intentions. Did we act with kindness? Did we listen with openness? Did we respect the boundaries of the other person? Through reflection, we gain clarity about how we show up in relationships, and we see where we might improve. This practice of self-inquiry allows us to be intentional in our actions so that each interaction brings us closer to the values we wish to uphold. Reflection helps us to grow, becoming better friends, partners, and companions. It's a quiet yet powerful practice that deepens our relationships over time. Stoics also remind us to remain adaptable. People grow, circumstances change, and relationships evolve. A Stoic relationship is one that is flexible and open to change. We don't cling to rigid expectations of how things should be. Instead, we embrace the natural ebb and flow of life. This flexibility allows us to respond with resilience when things shift, rather than resisting or resenting the changes. In this way, our relationships remain dynamic and alive, capable of adapting to new challenges and stages of life. Adaptability becomes a source of strength as we're able to meet each phase of the relationship with an open heart, knowing that change is a natural part of growth. Within Stoic relationships, there's also a focus on creating shared experiences that nurture connection. While words and understanding are essential, Stoics valued the power of shared activities to deepen bonds. These experiences create memories and foster a sense of unity, reminding us of the journey we're on together. Whether it's taking a walk, working on a project, or simply spending time in quiet companionship, these shared moments become the threads that weave our lives together. They remind us that relationships aren't built solely through talk or promises, but through the richness of shared life experiences. These moments stay with us, becoming a part of the fabric of our connection. Moreover, a Stoic approach to relationships involves a level of self-restraint. While modern relationships often focus on intense expressions of emotion, the Stoic way is more measured. This doesn't mean repressing feelings, rather, it means expressing them thoughtfully and responsibly. Instead of reacting impulsively, a Stoic takes a moment to consider their response, ensuring it aligns with their values and respects the dignity of the other person. This self-restraint creates a stable and predictable presence where others feel safe, knowing they're in the company of someone who responds with thoughtfulness rather than volatility. This restraint strengthens trust, as others know they can rely on us to be steady and considerate. In Stoic relationships, there's also an element of reciprocity. While Stoics encourage us to give freely without expecting anything in return, they also recognize that healthy relationships are built on a balance of giving and receiving. Stoics teach us to give from a place of abundance, not out of obligation or neediness. At the same time, we recognize when it's appropriate to receive, allowing others the opportunity to support and care for us. This balance of giving and receiving creates a relationship of mutual respect where both individuals feel valued. It's a dynamic of shared responsibility where both people contribute to the health and growth of the connection. One of the profound aspects of Stoic relationships is their commitment to the long term. Stoics don't view relationships as disposable or temporary. Instead, they approach connections with a mindset of enduring value. When we commit to a relationship, we're choosing to invest in the growth and well-being of another person over time, through all of life's ups and downs. This commitment creates a deep sense of loyalty and stability, a bond that isn't shaken by minor conflicts or external changes. It's a relationship built to withstand the tests of time, nurtured by a steady dedication to the other's welfare. This long-term perspective brings a sense of calm and assurance, knowing that we're in it together, not just for a season, but for the journey. In this way, Stoic relationships become a source of profound personal growth and inner peace. We learn about ourselves through our connections, becoming more patient, compassionate, and wise. Each relationship is a mirror reflecting both our strengths and areas for growth. By approaching relationships with a Stoic mindset, we transform them into opportunities for becoming better people, not just for our own sake, but for the sake of those we care about. We bring our best selves to each interaction, contributing to a bond that nourishes both individuals, creating a shared path of virtue and fulfillment. In the end, building deep relationships, the Stoic way is a journey of intentionality, self-awareness, and meaningful connection. It's about creating bonds that don't depend on superficial gestures, but are grounded in genuine respect, trust, and mutual growth. By applying Stoic principles, we learn to accept others for who they are, listen with empathy, communicate openly, and show up as reliable and supportive companions. Stoicism teaches us to cultivate relationships not just for our own benefit, but as part of our commitment to live a virtuous life, lifting others as we lift ourselves. Each relationship becomes an opportunity to practice patience, gratitude, and adaptability. We become stronger, not by avoiding challenges, but by facing them together with a spirit of resilience and mutual respect. Stoic relationships aren't about control or dependence. They're about freedom and encouragement, where both people feel supported in becoming their best selves. Whether in moments of joy or adversity, these connections become a wellspring of inner peace, helping us remain grounded, compassionate, and purposeful. By approaching relationships with humility and presence, we create bonds that withstand the tests of time, bringing fulfillment and meaning to our lives. In this ever-changing world, such relationships are rare and valuable, offering us a sense of belonging, purpose, and shared humanity, building deep relationships. The Stoic way is about creating a space where both individuals can thrive, grow, and support each other with genuine respect and compassion. It's about accepting imperfections, being fully present, and letting go of the need to control or possess. Instead of shallow attachments, Stoicism encourages us to cultivate bonds that are rooted in understanding, patience, and a commitment to mutual growth. Through empathy, gratitude, and a shared journey toward inner resilience, we learn to love in a way that isn't about filling a void, but about uplifting one another and embracing the beauty of shared humanity. By practicing these Stoic principles in our relationships, we don't just strengthen our connections, we elevate them. We move beyond transactional bonds and into a realm where every moment spent together is meaningful and valuable. Each interaction becomes an opportunity to show up as our best selves, to give and receive with grace, and to cherish the presence of those we care about. And through reflection and self-awareness, we continue to grow within each relationship, learning to balance the beauty of shared companionship with the freedom of individual purpose. Relationships built on these Stoic values don't just enrich our lives, they become a foundation of lasting peace, joy, and understanding. They remind us that true love and friendship aren't about dependency, but about honoring each other's journeys and celebrating our time together, knowing that every moment is a gift. This approach to relationships becomes not only a source of personal fulfillment, but a path to collective growth, where each person contributes to a bond that transcends fleeting emotions or circumstances. In embracing Stoic principles, we open the door to relationships that are grounded, resilient, and deeply meaningful. These bonds don't rely on superficial attachments or fleeting emotions, but are built on a foundation of understanding, empathy, patience, and mutual respect. When we approach others with acceptance, open-hearted listening, and a commitment to personal growth, our relationships transform into something far more profound. We're no longer simply friends, partners, or family members by name alone. We become trusted pillars in each other's lives, each adding value and purpose to the other's journey. The Stoic way reminds us that relationships are not merely a source of comfort or validation, but an arena for personal and mutual development. We grow through shared experiences, challenges, and even conflicts, seeing each interaction as a chance to become better versions of ourselves. By practicing self-restraint, gratitude, and a deep appreciation for the fleeting nature of life, we learn to cherish our connections with humility and reverence. This mindset allows us to stay present, to fully appreciate those we care about without clinging or trying to control, fostering an environment where true love and friendship can thrive. In times of adversity, we lean into Stoic resilience, allowing our relationships to endure and grow stronger through hardship. The practice of radical empathy, forgiveness, and open communication helps us navigate conflicts with grace and understanding. And by committing to honest, intentional presence, we become a steady, reliable force in each other's lives, creating a bond that isn't just meaningful, but unshakable. The Stoic way shows us that deep relationships are less about constant pleasure and more about shared growth and strength. Two individuals walking together with respect, purpose, and care. As we apply these timeless principles, our relationships evolve into enduring partnerships that add depth, joy, and meaning to our lives. These bonds become a source of lasting peace and fulfillment, guiding us toward a life of virtue and wisdom. Whether it's through family, friends, or partners, Stoic relationships bring out the best in us and in those around us, enriching our lives beyond measure. If you found these insights valuable and want to deepen your journey into Stoicism and meaningful relationships, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Together, we can explore more ways to live with wisdom, purpose, and a heart full of compassion. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.